Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. Happy Tuesday for us, February 20th. Dude, time is flying by, dog. I cannot believe this month is over next week.
I know.
But I'm good, dude. I played some basketball today.
Nice.
Kind of tweaked my knee, and I was like, ooh, this is what 35 is. But still good, still fun to get out there. I think I mentioned to you before, one of my buddies rents out a gym for us every Tuesday. So it's nice to have organized pickup basketball with 10 other dudes that you could get like a proper sweat in, and it's like a good workout even on those days that you play like shit. Today I played like shit, but it's all good.
Nice.
How about you, bro? How's life been for you?
It's been good. Today started off really hectic. So I get to work, show up, sit down, just heated up my breakfast sandwich, have my coffee ready. I open up my laptop. I see a big ass blown up picture of my wife on the screen. And I was like, oh, fuck. I brought the wrong computer to work.
Oh.
So because my personal one, I upgraded my work computer.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
And they look kind of identical, especially in the dark. And
you don't have any stickers on that shit?
No, I mean, that's you're smart, because that's something I did as soon as I got home. As soon as I got home, I slapped a sticker right on that bitch. So now, God willing, this will never happen again.
So you were at the office?
Yeah, I was at the office. And it just so happened there was a last minute meeting that was really important that I needed to help coordinate. Thank God I didn't need everything I needed access to, I could do on my phone. And that meeting turned out to be super successful, no hiccups.
Nice. Congrats.
Fortunately, didn't have any meetings where I needed access to Excel and stuff. So I was already planning on leaving a bit early. Now I really had an excuse to leave early. So I left right at lunch and caught up on all the shit that I couldn't do while I was there. So yeah, it was kind of frantic, but all is well.
So what the fuck did she do?
Who?
Like your wife. What did she do without having her laptop?
It actually wasn't her laptop. It was because I was exporting old photos onto my personal one. And when I closed my laptop, that was the last thing that was on the screen. And as soon as I saw that picture, I was like, fuck, because I knew there was no way I had any personal shit on my work computer.
Got it. That makes way more sense. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. But success.
And it was an appropriate picture, to be clear. It was just the fact that it was my personal computer where I didn't have access to anything.
Yeah, no, that's funny, dude. I think I would be completely useless if I didn't have my laptop, bro. I show up to work and be like, bro, put me down for PTO today, bro. It's not if I have to go home after fucking driving 45 minutes, I'll be like, bro, today is just not meant for me to be working. Email me if you need anything tomorrow.
Oh, I definitely would have played that card. The universe must love me right now because my boss is out of the office. My teammate is working remote from China. So
you mentioned that. Yeah.
It couldn't have happened on a better day.
Nice, dude. For me, besides normal work shit, dude, I do have the wedding stuff, so we can get into this since it's gonna be a bit of a more niche episode. Wedding stuff's going well, dude. Had great meeting, just with the DJ last week. So nice. I've only met him once before online, or a quick conversation over the phone. But this time we FaceTime or Google Meet and stuff, and this guy was asking questions, and I'm like, all right, bro, either you're a very good salesman or you actually know your shit. He's asking me questions like I need to have your must-haves. Tell me about your friends. Tell me about your relationship. Well, when I do this kind of song, you need to understand that it's going to be with this other song in mind. And don't send me a playlist of what you like. I need to know the song so I can build off that song and not just copy a playlist for you. So I really do appreciate that. But I am a week away now, so I'd actually wanted your feedback on your experience, because you also had essentially, I'm having a destination wedding, right? Even though it's New York City, it's still it's a destination for me. It's a destination for 90% of the people attending. At what point during the RSVP, like, hey, I need your final answer stuff, did it start feeling a bit like, like either like, oh wow, you're really not coming? Like, were there ever like mini tensions amongst like obviously don't name names, but like amongst like family and friends where you were like, oh really, bro, you're not gonna come? Or like people kind of like sweating you about like an extra +1 or anything? Because I'm going through that now when I've given people a deadline of like, hey, this I need to know by Friday, and now I'm getting people backing out that I'm like, really, bro? Like, you're not gonna fucking come to this wedding? So I was just wondering if that's like a normal experience that everyone goes through.
Definitely normal. I'd be hard pressed to find somebody who had what the most seamless, RSVP process with their wedding, unless it was some like super intimate 10-person thing where like, these motherfuckers are answering right away and they don't have to follow up. For me, it definitely was frustrating, particularly because I don't know if you did this, but the email service MailChimp I was using would let me know who opened the email. And
I'm not doing that's a good idea. For the next wedding. God forbid.
Divorce party. No, knock on wood. But it's a gift and a curse, because I'm like, I know you read this shit, and I'm like, since I know you read it, I don't want to go out of my way to follow up with you because you've read it. And I like, maybe the petty side of me is like, if you've read a bunch of emails and you still aren't RSVPing, unless like you're my brother or something, or like a really, really close friend, I'm not going to go out of my way to like kind of beg you to come. So, with those folks who are kind of responsive, but not like giving you the runaround and shit. I think my wife and I tried to like, well, we had to tell the caterers, of course, the head count, because I think that influenced.
That's what I'm saying. So what did you do? Like, again, we all gave, I think you even gave us the date for your wedding. Like, hey, I need an answer. Again, the people in your party and I know responded right away. But like, I'm sure there were still people like, what was your rule as far as like, all right, this is my deadline of this date, and then you still followed up afterwards, or you were like, bro, no, that's it. The deadline's a deadline. I gave you plenty of notice. It is what it is.
So after the deadline, no one really essentially said, oh, now I can make it. If anything, a couple of people dropped out at the last minute because of various reasons. Sure. But someone did want to bring a +1. And I think at that point, because he had never said anything about a +1, I think we said he would need to pay whatever the head count amount was for the extra person. So I think that was kind of our leverage or incentive to get people to like hurry up and decide, so that we didn't have like an extra 15 people at the last minute. Especially because you have to set the number of chairs and everything up.
It's a whole thing, bro. Like, head count for food. And for ours, like we have, I know it wasn't for you, but for ours, it's like a minimum for like food and beverage, right? And it like, but if like we're under that number and there's extra money, we can use that extra money for upgrades and other things, or say, hey, we want the room for an extra half an hour. So like, I need to fucking know, kind of a thing. But it just feels weird that like, there's certain people, like I won't say names, but there's like family members that are like dropping out. And I'm like, bro, really? Like, you live, like you'll drive to New York City for a fucking fight to watch on TV, but you won't come for a wedding that's like a close family member that you've known for fucking 7 months. Like,
and it's easy to get to. It's
easy
not like you're
fuck,
flying across the country or something.
Yeah, dude. Like, honestly, this is my like hypothesis, and I haven't told my dad this because like I'm not trying to stress him out, because like I don't want him to feel guilty about these fucking people. But I was like, what I think it is, bro, and this might be just like no, I know this is what it is, but I feel very confident, is that I feel like Dominican culture, like they just think that when they throw these big ass events and parties, you just run out of event space, right? And bro, that invite is open to until the fire marshals come and like shut you down, right? So like, if you have fucking a wife or a girlfriend, but you also happen to have 7 kids, all 9 of you are pulling up, right? And like, obviously, you know, at a fucking wedding, like, bro, that's not realistic, bro. I can't give you a +1 and then a +8, dog. Like, that's not.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like, and so I think people are like offended that
it's like an all or nothing thing.
Correct. Either me and my 6 kids are coming, or I can't come. And it's like, bro, like that's. But I don't even like. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt because I don't think they understand. I'm like, bro, it's 235 a head, bro. I can't have fucking 10 people just for you, dog. Like,
right. Yeah, exactly. So, and that's, I mean, we kind of had that issue with ours. Because remember, originally we were like, well, maybe we don't allow +1s.
Yeah.
But then we were like, oh, well, if they're coming that far, like a +1 isn't out of the question. But I think once we thought about like, okay, now are they gonna bring like 5 kids? Because the caterers are treating them as damn near adults, at least based on the pricing. So I think that's where we had to draw the line. I think, dude,
you didn't have any kids of yours, right?
That. No, and I don't think they wanted to deal with them like with all that travel. But yeah, it's I think what we wanted was just people to be like the ones who couldn't go to be transparent about, quickly, hey, I'm like afraid to go alone.
Correct.
Hey, it's too expensive. Like, just be forward. If you don't have the money, or you're too afraid, or you don't know which flight to take, you don't want to do the research, like, just let us know, because this time is money, like literally in this case.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And my thing is, like, for example, I was in Dallas over the weekend, shout out to Gina's family, and we bumped into one of her friends who like RSVP'd immediately saying they couldn't come, right? And then we bumped into her at the party. We were like, oh man, we would love it, you were there. And she's like, dude, can't afford it. And I was like, dude, respect. I can't even afford it. You know what I mean? Like, we can have a funny joke about this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, just be straightforward. But it's like, I'm getting annoyed by the people who I was assuming were going to be there are now flip-flopping when you had fucking 7 months to figure this out. And now the week before the RSVP deadline. So like now, like, I think I'm getting like anxious about the idea of like, bro, am I going to really have to start fucking like begging people to show up to this shit? Like, it's like a privilege, bro. Like, there's only so many spaces. Like, I want you to be there because like we have love for you, or, you know, you're literally blood or whatever. But it's like, dog, like, really, man? Like, I know this shit you go to on a normal basis. I think the other side is like, bro, I know this shit I show up for, bro. Like, I live in Florida, dog. Everything is a destination for me, and like I show up for, right? So the idea of like, bro, you can't drive a 3-hour drive to figure this shit out is a bit annoying. But again, I know this is not unique to me, but it doesn't change the fact, I'm sure for you as well. Like, it's like, bro, like, all right, man, really, this is what the fuck we're doing, bro? Like, because, and again, because I'm getting a couple RSVP declines and a couple of messages on the side, and I have like, my intuition is telling me it's because like it was an all or nothing thing for that. Like, oh man, you only gave me a +1. You know, I got 3 or 4 kids who would love to be there. I'm like, bro, that's not my fucking problem, bro. Like, I have no relationship with these people besides that we're blood, and I love you to death. And when I see you at a family gathering, it's always love. But just because of that, I don't think that warrants that you're going to get an invite to like the most intimate day of my life. And if you saw my soon-to-be wife walking down the street, you wouldn't fucking know her name, bro. Like, like what do you mean you deserve a spot there, bro? And the rest of your family. So, but yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now as we like get to the finish line. Yeah,
that's frustrating. I feel like with weddings in general, at least when I'm attending, like, no matter what the setup is, I'm like, as long as that person wanted it this way and is happy with it, then I can't complain. Granted, I don't have like 4 or 5 kids that like I really want to be there or anything, but at the same time, that's not their decision to be like, hey, you should allow all 8 of us to attend, knowing that it's like an extra grand, or whatever it is.
Yeah, no, dude, dude, the number's wild, bro. But yeah, it's all good, man. It's gonna work out. It's gonna be a great day. But then you start like, again, it's not like, I don't want this to be like a line in the sand kind of a situation, but it makes you pause, right? And just be like, all right, this is kind of the relationship we have. Again, I'm not trying to count anyone's pockets, but when you're like, there's certain relationships that you're fully aware or you thought you were in a certain spot. It's like, all right, maybe we could be blood or whatever, but dude, like, these are certain things that you need to be at, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no like, figure it the fuck out. you know?
Mhm.
So I understand it's expensive, blah, blah, blah. But again, if you can drive 4 hours to watch a fucking fight or whatever, you can figure out ways to get to this wedding in 2 fucking months from now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So shit like that puts it in perspective for me. Like, all right, man, like this is showing me where we stand. Love you to death, but we're just not there. And that's also fine. But it's kind of just like, you know, it's also like a bit, it's disappointing. Yeah, it's disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's really unfortunate, mainly because the folks that drop out or like make excuses have so much time to prepare that when they don't show, it's like, oh, then you really don't care. Because money, like, I get it, it's everyone has different situations, but it sounds like in this case it's not like you're having this shit in Bangkok, like,
yeah,
doesn't sound like, yeah,
or these specific people are traveling from, say, like so hypothetically, there's a few people from my girl's side of the family who can't show up, right? It's like, dude, to fly from New York to to fly from Dallas to New York, it's an expensive flight. The per night hotel, it's not cheap. Right. So you're adding things, are adding up quickly. Like, dude, just to book this, you're already 2 G's in the hole. I get that. But for certain people on my side, it's like, bro, this is a 3-hour drive
right away or something.
Whatever it is, bro. You have plenty of people already stay with, because you stay with people when you visit New York all the fucking time. So you're not paying for a hotel. So all you're really doing is showing up for my wedding and just trying to wish me the best of luck in my life and call it a night. You can go home the same night. If you want to spend the night in your own bed that night, there's still plenty of time to do that. So like that part of it, it's like, bro, like if anything, we put this wedding in New York to make it easier for a lot of people. So it's just like, disappointing. I think disappointing is a great word, right? Like, it is what it is, right? It just gives you perspective. And like, again, bro, as we get older, think about some of the family members or cousins or whatever, or best friends you had 7 years ago who you don't fucking talk to right now. Like, things change over time.
For sure.
But it's interesting when you're at this age and you really know, like, all right, this is my crew. And then it's like, all right, this is just not. You're just someone who either I'm related to, I know you're an acquaintance, but we're really not that, right? And then some things are eye-opening. You're like, oh, wow, like, we're really not that. And this is like a great example of like, you had an opportunity to show up and you literally did it.
Yeah. And I think the silver lining is now, if some shit that comes up that is inconvenient for you, that you don't necessarily want to go out of your way to do, now you have, I mean, not to do this tit for tat thing, but now you can be like, you know what, like, maybe it's not worth it for me because this person, you know, has positioned me at this level when I thought I was this level with them.
Yeah, but I also think it's also like my own fault, where I think I'm like just one of those friends who always shows up for everything, right? Mm-hmm. Or like, so it's like, I also need to like check myself. It's like, bro, like, you don't have to go to every fucking event, you know, like, so, but yeah, man, it just wedding. And, but I think for me, what the also like the jarring part to this is that everything has been so smooth, bro. Like, so smooth. Like, DJ, photographer, lights, food. Yeah, we want to eat that. Oh, yep. Dude, we sent a text and we sent the invites out like 4 or 5 months ago. And then we sent like an RSVP reminder like 2 months ago. And bro, we got like 65 RSVPs immediately. So I was like, oh, they just needed a text reminder. So like, it was so smooth, bro. And then like this last, literally, like, we're down to the wire of like, I need to know by Friday morning. And then it's just like, I'm not coming. It's like, bro, what? Bro, like,
I feel like people are so quick to just say yes, unless they know for a fact they can't. And they don't want to like piss you off, you know, too early on and shit.
Right.
And like be bugged. But then, you know, 2 months in, it's like, do I really want to call off for work or whatever, you know, reasons people have.
Did you, just so I know to help myself planning, did you send a message reminding people or like saying, hey, if your plans have changed, please also let us know by a certain date? Or was it like, if you RSVP'd, and I'm assuming you're coming?
I can check my emails. I'm pretty sure I did one final reminder, maybe like a month beforehand or two. But I think it was for me, it was a bit simpler in the sense that like you had to have your flight like a few months before. Otherwise, chances are you weren't fucking going. So I think that's once we got the confirmation like 2 months before, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is the final list.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because my thing is like, it's such like a variety of like people literally already living in New York and just driving 20 minutes to the venue. or people taking a 3-hour flight from Florida and Dallas. So yeah, we'll see how it is, man. It's going to be a great night. But yeah, that was just like the most recent situation. So I know you've been through it already. So I wanted to know. Again, I figured it wasn't unique to me, but it's still like disappointing when it's like people who you thought were like, oh yeah, they're going to be, there's going to be a great fucking time.
Yeah, I think it's the unfortunate dark side of a beautiful day, but not dark in the grand scheme of things, just annoying.
Not dark in the grand scheme of things. Honestly, it's also like it helps you just see things better moving forward, like in certain relationships, right? So you can't get mad about that. But cool, man. That's the lowdown on that. But let's get to it. Episode 169 about to start. Episode 168 up everywhere. On that episode, you and I spoke a lot about the Vultures album, our reaction to that. So we're essentially close to 2 weeks after the release of us hearing this more cleaner engineered version of it. It was taken down multiple times on Apple Music, but now it's fully up and easy to listen to. So that's no issue there. It did officially go #1 on the billboards as well, despite all the craziness on the DSP. So, well, what are your thoughts now, 2 weeks removed from it dropping? Are you bumping it even more? Does your rating go down? Like, what are your thoughts?
I'd say I feel the same pretty much about it. Still bumping it for sure. I will say with time, I mean, I kind of already mentioned this, but the more and more I listen to it, the more I realize it's the production and Ty Dolla $ign and the features that are carrying it. Yeah. And Kanye's, obviously I know he had a shit ton of input across the whole thing, but in terms of just purely his vocals and his own verses, like they don't really do a whole lot for me. But then again, like I just said, I know he had a huge say in how all of this was put together in the first place. So I still credit him for me enjoying this album in the first place. But yeah, still like it a lot.
Yeah, totally agree. I think as you listen to it more and more, Ty Dolla $ign shines through. Man, I do wish though, now that time has passed though, that they would put the features list. Because dude, there is one song that I just couldn't figure out who the fuck was on it, bro. Damn, I didn't save it, man. Oh, and for some reason they took down on Apple Music the Good Don't Die song.
Yeah, they took it down on mine. I think the reason is
It's a sampling. It's a sampling.
It's a sampling.
It's sampling. Because it's too obvious. It's not even like, hey, let's use that part of it. It's the fucking song.
Right. I feel loved. I feel loved.
Yeah. So, okay. So it's not just me. Man, there was one song, bro, that it's like, I'm trying to figure out exactly who the artist is that he had on that shit, but for whatever reason, like, it's not coming to me. Yeah, I just wish he had the features on it. But no, besides that, dude, I've been bumping it as much, if not more. Truly enjoying more songs on it. I think Paperwork has grown on me a lot. What else? Burn as well. Back to Me is a banger, bro. Like, obviously, Do It is still my favorite song, but Back to Me is like a very good song.
Yeah.
That's
the one with Freddie Gibbs one, right?
Yeah. Freddie Gibbs, and he samples, not Silent Bob, but the other guy in that movie.
Jay.
What's his name? Jay and Silent Bob. Yeah, so that's
it's funny. People keep making fun of, or people take that song as a joke for some reason, just because that snippet is in there.
Oh, like it's like a tongue-in-cheek song, like it's like a parody or something.
Yeah. Just because they can't take it seriously by any means because of that.
I take that shit really seriously, bro. Like, again, I feel like there's like a nice nature to that song where like it's like real like shit. You know what I mean? It's like like I think like if you're like a guy, it's almost like taboo to have like male ego like that. But like it's also a fact, bro. Like, you know, like guys like us don't fucking grow off trees. And I know he's joking about like big titty women and all that stuff too, but like, I think the song is fire, bro. So yeah, if anything, the rating's gone up for me. I figured it would, you know, to be honest. Like, it takes me a while to truly take in the Kanye album, and I feel liking this one from the jump. Again, I tried to move on to different things this week just so I'm not like consumed by it, but there's really not much else that I really wanted to bump besides this, and like obviously like different like random playlists and stuff.
Same. No, I'd agree. It seems like the public is still loving this new project, and I haven't expressed too much interest in anything else coming out. Granted, I don't think there has been much to discuss as far as drops since this. I know we have some stuff we'll get into, but for me at least, this combined with Cuddy like is enough for this first quarter.
Dude. Surprisingly, like it feels like it's 2009 or something, and we're talking about like the good old days. But so shout out to Ty Dolla $ign and Ye, great album. Maybe I'll post it one day. See,
well, Tyler posted it, and she's got a clean cut. Everyone loves her image.
Dude, what is the biggest song she's known for?
The Water song.
That's what it is. Okay. Yeah. That's what it was. All right. Because I was like, bro, like I feel like I know that name, but like I don't, like on the top of my head, I couldn't figure out what song. And then when you said that, I was like, is he spelling Tyler the Creator wrong? I was like, you know what I mean? When you said it to me, so I was like, yeah. Because you're like, I love Tyler. I'm like, yeah, bro, we all love him. Like, why wouldn't you love him?
No, yeah, I meant her. Well, so I think she went viral on TikTok with that song first.
Oh, super viral.
I haven't been on TikTok, so I didn't know what people were talking about. I think my wife brought her up. Then I looked her up. I'm like, oh, she's gorgeous. And then obviously she just became more and more popular. And then after the Grammys, she posted a video for her newest song, and I really like that song. So ever since then, I was like, oh,
she won a Grammy, right? Or maybe a couple Grammys?
Yeah, she won a Grammy, I think, for a new category, which is dope. And they're basically saying she's the new Rihanna.
Because she's Caribbean as well, right?
No, she's from Johannesburg in Africa.
Oh wow, she's not even American. Oh, or like
yeah.
I thought she was like raised in the States, but like Jamaican descent or Trinidad Tobago descent or something like that. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, South African.
Very cool. Yeah, I'll peep. But yeah, I just know that song because dude, that song is fucking. There was a stretch that was like every song that popped up on like the algorithm for like a while. So cool, man. So we'll peep that. Keep peeping Vultures 1. So not apparently, YEAT did drop an album, 2093. So obviously insinuating a futuristic sound. I tried to listen to this, bro. I started with the Drake song because I'm like, all right, if I like this, I'll, wander into the rest of this 24 track album. 24 is part 2. Part 1 is 22. So regardless, there's a lot of fucking songs. But dude, even the Drake song I didn't care for at all, bro. Like, same. I think I enjoyed the Yeat Drake collab on I don't give a fuck, right? But it felt minimal, right? Like it was just like it was almost like a Playboy Cardi thing where it's just like you just want sprinkles of it, bro. Like you don't want verses of that. Like you just want like the ad libs and like the sound it can give, or like almost like using his voice as like an instrument, right? But to try to be forced to listen to full verses of his and then 24, I was like, dog, I'm not doing this, dog. I couldn't even finish the Drake song, bro. I was like, I'm good here, bro. Like, I got enough Drake, bro. Like, I don't need this, dude.
It's funny you say that because I saw that on the rundown, and then I was on the train on the way home. And I was like, damn, this nigga gave me homework. I was like, 24 songs. I was about to be like, can we remove this from the rundown? Because I was like, this does not feel like, I was like, this feels like work. But I will say, to give him credit, he's definitely a lot more, his sound is a lot more original than most of the stuff that's out. I don't know if that's saying a lot or too little. The production on some of the songs like was insane. I was like, this could be the soundtrack for like the next Matrix or some shit.
Sure.
But a lot of the time,
I saw a lot of comments that people were saying like festival energy. Like, like if the lights are set a certain way, you can see how the production can make this a very like anthem-like atmosphere.
Yeah. So definitely some tracks on there that describe that I liked and saved. But again, I think I like this in doses. Like for me, this could have been, choose your best 6 or 7 songs from this. And that's all I want. I felt like half the time I would listen to songs. I'm like, what mood do you have to be in? I feel like some of them you have to be on like multiple drugs, like fucking the hottest girl in the back of a nightclub or some shit. Like
some shit.
Couldn't figure out what vibe like this was meant for. But
I'll let you know, it wasn't for me driving home from work, and it wasn't for me at the gym, bro. Because I was just like, dog, what is happening, dude? Like, again, I think I do like him. Again, I haven't heard. We've spoken about this on the pod. Like, I haven't heard enough of him, right? I just know I respect the run he's on, the people that are saying he's good. I respect all of it. It just may not be for me. But in trying to consume like 6 songs straight, I was just like, dog, I can't. It just felt overwhelming, to be honest. I was like, bro, like this is, I don't know what's meant to be happening here, but like it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it is overwhelming. Even some of the production, it's like I feel like I'm being electrocuted or something in a way. But there are definitely moments where I was like, wow, this is really dope and different. But again, 24 songs, definitely overwhelming for something that doesn't have a clear and like coherent message or story.
Yeah, like what are you saying? I need
this shit in doses.
Yeah, what are you saying for 24 songs, bro? Like you can't say, like you said, 8. You know what I mean? Like what are you saying in fucking 24 songs? You can't say in 8 songs. So
right.
I am curious to see though what the numbers will be though, because I do know he is very loved by this new generation of like hip hop fans. Like Gen Z's like love this dude. Like they put him in like the Yachty NBA young boy, like I think of just like a crazy fan base that will listen to whatever the fuck they drop and say it's the greatest thing that ever came out.
Yeah, maybe it's a sign of us getting older, but to me, I feel like for every newer and younger generation, I think they just love to champion artists who are like being edgy and different and quote unquote weird, and they like celebrating that. They love to knock down anyone who, you know, appears as a biter or like riding the coattails of someone else who's popular. I'm sure a lot of those Gen Zers are probably shitting on Drake because Drake's very quickly becoming the old rapper like a Jay-Z or something. So yeah, I don't necessarily get it, like how he's gotten to this point this quickly, but salute to him.
So fast, bro. So fast, dog. But yeah, salute to him. You can't knock the hustle. But sometimes, again, there's a bunch of cars being sold and we're not buying, right? Like it doesn't have to be for us. That's all. So shout out to him. If you like it, let us know in the comments which songs we should listen to. And if it should be on a 1 song every week basis, we'll give you the final review in July. But some other stuff that was pretty cool. And again, this is 2093 is the album. We'll mess around with that a little bit. So J. Cole said that Get Rich or Die Trying, an album that just celebrated its 20-year anniversary, which came out in 2004, sorry. J. Cole said Get Rich or Die Trying is the greatest hip-hop album of all time. So pretty cool. Again, on a side note, I think we've been saying for a while, it's pretty cool that 50 Cent seems to be getting his flowers now at a time where he's still young to embrace it. He's being embraced by a lot of people who usually in the past will not fuck with him. So I love that about him. Cole has always fucked with 50 Cent, though, even having a feature of 50 back in the day. So your thoughts on Cole's comment itself about Get Rich or Die Trying?
I think he's just saying that shit or said that shit so he could go on tour with 50.
And just have a good time?
Yeah, basically. No, I'm kidding. I definitely, like most people, think that album's classic and one of the best, but I feel like it's still so subjective. I don't know if we could ever come to a conclusion on what the best album was, because the time and era that any of these are released and when you grew up and what you were doing and how it resonated with you, I feel like all those things factor into how you receive the album. And for that reason, I don't like know what the fuck, how Big Daddy Kane or Rakim or any of these people like would have made me felt, because I was like I wasn't even a thought in my dad's head at that time, probably.
Yeah, and if you listen today with 2024 ears, you're like, bro, what the fuck is this flow? Like, you know what I mean? I think the hip hop of like that 80s, 90s, I think the biggest shock for most people is like their cadence And we're just like, bro, like even like some old Jay-Z, you're like, bro, why is he rapping like that?
Yeah. But the more I think about Get Rich or Die Trying, I feel like it is like a quintessential hip hop album, almost like if AI were to like create the best hip hop album they could create of a fictional artist. Like I feel like it touches upon all that, like being a pimp, fucking being a gangster and selling drugs and getting high. Like every other song hits like every stereotypical hip hop theme. So in that sense, I guess I could see why, you know, anyone who loves hip hop would say this is the best, because it's like real hip hop, but also like the most mainstream in a sense.
Yeah. But I would say, like, so regardless of like if we think it is or isn't the greatest album of all time in hip hop, it's definitely worthy to be in the conversation, right? Like if you got like 10 true hip hop heads, one of them is bringing to the table the Get Rich or Die Trying album. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And no one's being like, bro, are you fucking crazy? Like, I think it deserves to be in the conversation of like, yeah, man, like that was, I mean, again, not so, like only so many albums go diamond, you know, like for fucking 10 million plus people to go buy this shit. Like at that time where like you physically had to go buy this shit. Like, I think that in itself just lets you know like this is a very different category, right? Like it's not like today where anyone can put up crazy numbers. Like this is a different kind of like beast.
Yeah, for sure. G-Unit had like one of the most unprecedented major runs ever.
And it was propelled by this.
Super notorious beef with Ja Rule, where he basically ended his musical career, at least. And Ashanti just took the game by its neck, and not the rapper, but the rap game by its neck.
Eventually the rapper.
Eventually he did that shit. But first it was the metaphorical game that he took by the neck and snapped in half, or threatened. And yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at him calling it the greatest album of all time. Of course, everything's subjective, but
everything's subjective for sure. So just for you, just so we the listeners know, what do you know off the top of your head if you had to say what's your favorite hip hop album of all time? Do you already know like, yo, this is it?
Oh man, that would be so tough. If I had to be subjective, or if I had to say, which would of course be subjective based on just how some of these albums made me feel. Man, it's so tough. I might have to sit on this one, but
yeah, for sure.
That era definitely was because that's the first time where I kind of had the ability to seek my own music, because downloading music was accessible at that point.
Yeah, LimeWire and Morpheus were fucking booming at that time.
Yeah. How about yourself?
So it wouldn't be Get Rich or Die Trying, but it would be in the conversation. Only reason why I say it's not Get Rich or Die Trying, because there were a couple songs where, because I feel like for me, when it's like the best album ever, you can't have any skips, right? Like that's like my first. Like, did I ever want to just be like, all right, bro, we're over this kind of a thing? And the only reason why there were a couple of songs like again, I think this is one of my favorite albums. This is probably a top 5 album, maybe honestly a top 3 album for me. But there was one, Bloodhound with Young Buck. I'm like, bro, like this song is just you trying to introduce us to Young Buck under G-Unit. Like we don't need this fucking song. Gotta Make It to Heaven. It just felt corny. Like it's like, bro, like you're just trying to sing, but not sing too much because you don't want the Ja Rule comparisons, but you want to show range. I'm like, all right. And then Poor Little Rich. I was just like, those 3 I could skip. Now they're good songs, right? That's they're bad songs, but they're skippable tracks. And I just think, for me personally, my greatest album of all time, I want 0 skips. So that's like my first like line of like how I even rate this. But I would definitely say Get Rich or Die Trying is top 3 for me. And then, bro, I think, bro, and this might be a fucking corny thing to say, but bro, I'm going to go with Reasonable Doubt as like my number 1 album. Like, I can play that shit today, It's going to be in my heat of the week later. Like, bro, that shit is just flawless to me, bro. And it is a flow that made, I think the only reason that flow resonates with me, even though it's very different from like modern Jay-Z, is that flow still feels like New York at its core, right? And like that shit I just grew up on. So it's never going to sound like a foreign thing to me. Whereas like some of like the rock, even though they're from New York, like that flow is so like, it's just so clear they're rapping. Like if that makes sense, right? Like some people can just flow and it's like they're just talking to you in like a poetry way, which Jay-Z like perfected. Whereas like Rakim and EPMD in that time is just like Big Daddy Kane. It's like, bro, like no one talks like this, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So at least no one I know talks like this, right? So it won't ever resonate in my ears. But yeah, for me, I would say Reasonable Doubt is my greatest hip hop album of all time.
Nice. No, definitely not mad at that. And I know a lot of people within the hip hop space would agree with you. I just thought of the albums that come to mind. I don't know if how many people out there would share this opinion, but again, this is based on my experience and the influence it had on me specifically. But I'd say album number one that I played front to back probably a billion times was The Cool by Lupe Fiasco.
You've always been a big Lupe guy.
Yeah, that was actually the album that kind of influenced me to actually start rapping more seriously.
Really?
Specifically the song called The Coolest. And I think it was because this album, across most of the songs, it was fun and accessible, but there was an underlying message. And I liked the fact that he was one of the few rappers that was able to basically stigmatize the negative shit within hip hop, but in a way that wasn't preachy. And obviously being in college, like I was in a more of a mindset to
do positive shit,
consume positive content and do positive things. And for me, it was something I resonated with, because obviously I'm not like from the streets, and prior to that I listened to pretty much only street shit. So which goes to my second point, was The Game, the documentary. Like, bro, I was obsessed with that
at all.
That album during high school. Like I wish I was a blood, like listening to that shit.
Bro. 100%, dog. Yeah. Like, yo, he had motherfuckers ironing their buying dickies to iron their dickies to listen to that song while he says that lyric, bro. Like, that's like,
exactly.
Like, yo, for sure, bro. Like, I'm not mad at that, bro. That has to be at least in my top 10, if not top 5. Like, again, that time, bro. Those are the ears we had at that time. Was just like, we were very aware of shit for the first time. So, like, for that to be so good in quality, we can be aware, and then we're also so young that it's just like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, dude, great thing. So that's your number 2 album?
Yeah, I'd say that's my number 2.
So 1 and 2, Lupe, and then The Game. Dude, not mad at it, bro. Those are, but again, The Game documentary though, right? Like nothing after that.
After that, no, I still listen to The Game. I would say during that period, like his albums were still the only ones I listened to that repetitively. Like The Doctor's Advocate, I think, was his sophomore album.
And that one had One Blood, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Play that album front to back nonstop as well.
Yeah, that one was a banger, dude. But on that album, I'm pretty sure that was the album that he had to leave G Unit, but he was still signed to Dre, so he still got Dre production, but Dre couldn't be on the songs or like that, all that drama. Like that. Yeah. The GU Not era, shit. So yeah, for sure. All right, man. So in flashing back to that era, and we can just do one more thing before we get out of here. If we go back 20 years, I wanted to give you our listeners a list of some of the albums that came out during that time. And let's just see if there's anything that we feel could still be played front to back and actually enjoyed today. So one that stands out right away is MF Doom had an album called Food. I know He's Beloved. To the Five Boroughs by Beastie Boys. Street Disciples by Nas, The Tipping Point by The Roots, probably one of the last albums by De La Soul, The Grind Date, Ghostface Killah, the Pretty Tony album, the College Dropout Kanye West, so his debut album, Purple Haze Cameron, which I think was his debut album on Rockefeller. No, it wasn't. That was second on Rockefeller. The Hunger for More, Lloyd Banks. Straight Outta Cashville, Young Buck. Kiss of Death, Jada Kiss. And there was like one more. Oh, D12 World by D12. Encore by Eminem. And then Rhythm and Gangsta by Snoop Dogg.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Sweatsuit Nelly. So out of those fucking, again, these are classic artists.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of those albums resonate with you in a way that you're like, bro, I would still bump that shit or still bump that shit today? Yeah. Album-wise, we can obviously talk about certain songs here and there that we still fuck with, but album-wise, is any of that stuff you're still bumping front to back?
A couple of those gave me
chills. Sorry, my bad. Also, Red Light District, Ludacris.
Also, did you say T.I. Urban Legend?
Yep, T.I. Urban Legend too, bro. Okay. Yeah, so a lot.
All right. So if I'm thinking about albums, I have three. Well, actually, I'll say two. The two that immediately jumped out to me were T.I. Urban Legend and Snoop Dogg Rhythm and Gangsta. Outside of the mentions of Lupe and Game, these were two albums that I also played nonstop, like front to back. T.I. was at the top of his game, had a bunch of bangers, but hidden gems in the album that, for whatever reason, never became super popular. But a lot of those ones are the songs that I still play even today. Snoop Dogg, Rhythm and Gangsta, same story.
Yeah, we just played it. We had one of those songs
Ups and
in
Downs.
The week. Yeah, like a few months back. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so those two are the ones that stand out the most to you.
Yeah, and I think they're super relevant because coincidentally, the past few months, I pulled a lot of those older songs onto my playlist. So
nice.
Yep, those.
Nice. For me, the number one, and it's not even close, is the Kanye College Dropout, right? Because this is Kanye coming out on his own through The Wire. I mean, that entire album is classic, bro. Even the fucking outro, Drunken People, I think is a song on that shit too. But whatever, that album is just a classic, dude. And I think it was a time in hip hop needed a different approach, but still giving you very clearly that it was quality music, right? It was no shoot 'em up, gang, bullshit, no selling drugs. This was just a story of my life, all falls down, things you can talk about with your girl. Like, it was just a phenomenal album. I think it was just like similar to you when you heard Lupe. For me, it was just a time where, like, all right, cool, man. There's a different way to still enjoy hip hop, and it doesn't have to be a 50 Cent killing everybody who ever disrespected him kind of thing. So, like, I think it was refreshing for me to be. And obviously, at that time, you have no idea that Kanye's going to go on to be the biggest thing. But it's also very clear that at that time, it's like, damn, bro, this guy's selling a lot of fucking records. Like, this is a little bit crazy.
Sorry, I fucked up. I don't know why, but I was thinking of Late Registration, which for some odd reason was like the one album that I was super late to. But College Dropout, absolutely love that one. That one's the third one that I would have included as well.
Yeah, 100%. No, yeah, I get you. Because even like with the album cover, like it's very similar to Late Registration. So I feel you on that one. I would say number two for me though, and this is just my love for G Unit, was The Hunger for More. Like, bro, like Lloyd Banks, bro, that album was flawless to me, dude. Like from the club bangers to the gangster shit, Smile for the girls, and it's like, yo, that's like when you're like 15 and you're trying to figure out like, yo, what should I say to like a shorty and stuff? Like, that's the song you would listen to, bro, like to try to be cool. So I would say Hunger for More. And then out of the rest, bro, to be perfectly honest, what I would bump the most, I mean, dude, I think honestly it was D12 World, but I don't think I tried to listen to Eminem now, and it's just hard for me, bro. So I don't think I would listen to that now, right? If the question is, what would I listen to today front to back with no skips? It would be College Dropout and The Hunger for More. Because even with like Snoop, bro, like maybe it's just like, I always had love for Snoop. I made that very clear to you in the past and on the pod. But there's also like something so LA about Snoop that it's hard for me to go through a 17 track album of his, right? Like at some point, it's just like, bro, like it feels gimmicky, even though I know it's not. But at some point, it just feels gimmicky. I'm just like, bro, like, all right, man, we love you to death, bro. Like, it's cool. But like, I honestly, I think I love you regardless if you're a rapper or not. Like, I just like, I like everything about you. I know you have bangers with Tupac, who's my favorite rapper of all time. So I have respect for you. But like, I never really was able to consume an entire Snoop Dogg album besides Doggy Style and truly enjoyed it. Like, oh man, this is like phenomenal music.
Yeah, I think for me, that's understandable for sure. There's definitely obviously the factor of me growing up in LA and having an affinity for Snoop and just that LA vibe. And on top of that, Pharrell was also my favorite producer at the time, and he produced not every song, but a lot of the songs on
this is the album that has Beautiful, right?
That was I think Paid the Cost to Be the Boss or some shit. I forget that album. Okay, but this one had Drop It Like It's Hot. It had Signs with Justin Timberlake. Let's Get Blown.
Fire.
And then there's like a handful of other ones you probably don't remember off the top of your head, but like
but songs that were fucking pop hits, not even just like loved in hip hop. Like those, bro, there's those fucking songs in India, for God's sakes. Like I'm fully aware of those songs, yo. So for sure, it's just I could never truly I bought the album, but it was just like I was like, oh yeah, these are like almost like what you do today, right? All the time. You're like, oh, listen to the entire album. I like these 4 or 5 songs. Fuck the rest. Like that's honestly what I did with Snoop my entire life listening to him.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. And he's also one of the artists that he does a lot of like kind of comical like songs that are actually like skits, and he's like kicking a girl out or something. And if you're not like into like, there's very rare moves where you're gonna be like, let me sit through 3 minutes of this shit, where he's putting on like a pimp voice and like kicking some random bitch out and talking nasty.
Yeah, but Doggy Style was the first time I ever heard that shit, and I was also like 6, bro. So like, you know what I mean? Like it was just like, oh my God, you can curse and I can hear it, and like I won't get in trouble, but I will get in trouble, kind of a thing. But yeah, no, Snoop is the greatest, man. But yeah, dude, it's very surprising, dude. A lot of good albums though, man, in 2004, bro. Like I'm sure like there's probably, dude, I know for a fact, I don't know if you can pull it up there, but like I know Red Light District definitely had a few by Ludacris.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
So
I'm just
like
trying to figure out if I would listen to I'm looking now to see if I would actually listen to the entire thing.
Nah, there's no
Which
way.
I never did actually. Ludacris is one of those artists where you're like,
same.
That one song I'm downloading and playing it 1,000 times, but not necessarily the album.
I would say also this was the peak of Nas of us saying, all right, this dude is done, right? So kudos to him for like 18 years later dropping a few bodies of work. They're like, yo, amazing. He still has it. He just needed good production. But dude, Street Disciple is one of those fucking albums. You're like, bro, this guy needs to stop rapping today, bro, because this is terrible. Yeah, man, pretty, good year, bro. But yeah, dude, I never fucked with the Beastie Boys at all. So I'm sure to the 5 Boroughs, I'm sure there's people in the comments who might say it's probably one of the best New York albums of all time. But yeah, dude, again, that shit was always corny to me. But maybe because like, bro, I grew up like in like a more like, I mean, obviously I lived in the suburbs in New York, but like during the days I would be like in a more like ghetto-ish area, like, you know, like just like more hood shit you would see. And like no one there would ever listen to the Beastie Boys. Like it was just corny. It's like, bro, like why are they rapping like that kind of a thing, right? Like no one talks like that kind of a thing. So I think that's ingrained in me. Like even if like the production or the lyrics are good, I'm just like, bro, like no, bro, like this isn't hip hop. But again, I know that's blasphemous because I know they're beloved. They're in the Hall of Fame. Like rest in peace. I think one of them actually passed away, but it was just never my cup of tea, like in any circumstance.
Same. It's funny because my older brothers would play them quite often, and like throughout my younger years, and I, for whatever reason, just thought their voices were kind of annoying. I didn't take them as a joke necessarily, but like I definitely didn't take it seriously, especially because my brothers would like laugh at certain aspects of their music, but they liked it. I feel like it's one of those things where you kind of you start off ironically liking something, and then you're like, oh, they're actually kind of dope, and then you like it after a while, like an acquired taste almost.
But I think that phrase, how you put it, like they're obviously not a joke, but it's just like it's just not for us, bro. It's just yeah, this isn't it. But yeah, no, I agree with you with the the Snoop Dogg one and the so what were the songs on Urban Legend that stand out to you, real quick? Because I might go back and hear that one.
So the ones I'll give you the underrated skips that people probably don't know as much about, but the ones that the ones that I still play that I love would be Praying for Help and Freak Though.
Okay. And then what were the bangers that everyone knows?
The King. Oh, You Don't Know Me is probably the biggest one.
That's the one, bro. Yeah. That's the one.
You Don't Know.
Yeah, dude, you know what happened? You're going to meet him. He's going to be my boy from India who's doing like the 30 to 40 minute set. Yo, I love that song. And I still love that song. It's a very good song. Dude, we were at Foot Locker buying sneakers, bro. Dude, that's crazy. I remember this shit like it was yesterday, bro. Like I was, dude, what, 20 years ago? I was, 14 years old. 14 years old. 15 years old, whatever. And he was like, dude, like, yeah, it's a good song, but he picked like the one word that you can like rhyme with everything. And then I was like, And like in that moment, like it made me diminish the song, even though I love the fucking song. But it was like, he's like, it's like a very easy rapping style in that moment because like the flow is determining how like your next word kind of a thing. So I was like, oh, bro, like you kind of fucked this up for me, bro, because I'm really like, enjoying loving the song. So no, but You Don't Know Me is a fucking banger. But it's wild because you would have thought he would have peaked with that album, and then he really got more famous like 2 years later with like the Rihanna and the Justin Timberlakes, like when he like started using like went pop. Yeah, so good for him because like he had a decent run. Which is why like dude, like his fall off was like drastic, dog. And it's just like to him to go to comedy after like having a fucking Hall of Fame hip hop career, and then like the side comments
the reality shows and stuff.
Reality shows and like him and his wife being accused of fucking sex trafficking. It's like, bro, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. I don't know if it was necessarily a fall off, more so as him just like getting bored with rap and cashing out.
It could have been that, but just for him not to be relevant anymore in the hip hop space is like
for people to like,
because you would think he's like a mainstay, you know, like dude, there's no reason that like if you would have told me in 2006 that Lil Wayne would still be dropping albums, but T.I. wasn't, I'd be like, you're fucking crazy because T.I. is the king of the South, bro. Like,
right. But so his T.I.'s last album, damn, it must have been a minute ago then, because for some reason I thought he released something recently, but I think it was more so like 2013, which was a really great album.
Which one?
Nipsey was on it. It was called which album? About My Issue. There's a fucking Nipsey song that was amazing, but Paperwork, 2014. So yeah, 10 years ago. That shit felt like yesterday, but here we are getting old.
Bro, quick. T.I. Paperwork?
Yep.
Paper Trail?
Paperwork.
No, Paperwork.
Yeah.
Paperwork.
That one's also one of my favorite albums from T.I.
Just in case you thought actor, novelist, reality TV star, hip hop kingpin T.I. might have slowed down, he gives you his 9th and his biggest album yet. That was like the description.
Yeah. Honestly, all of his albums are super enjoyable.
Yeah, no, dude, I might have to peep Paperwork, bro. I haven't. Damn, it says a Young Thug feature, Chris Brown, Iggy. Oh, this is when he signed Iggy Azalea.
Yeah.
Idiot. Damn. Yeah, on the top of my head, bro, I don't even know a lot of these songs. Which song is the Nipsey feature? Because I don't see it on the
About My Issue.
About My Issue. Oh, featuring Victoria Monet and then Nipsey?
Yeah. Oh wow, I didn't even realize that was Victoria Monet. I just found out about her like fucking a year ago.
Bro, but also what's wild is that like every single song has a feature except like 2.
Mm-hmm. But the perfect thing is like they don't. outshine him. I feel like that's rare nowadays. Like
that's rare because usually
that's
you
what
see
you want to hear.
Correct. When you see that, your whole shit's features, you're like, oh, this guy just needed help to get this album promoted. So I'll beat that one, bro, because I haven't heard that. I never even heard that album, bro. 22, but I think I told you before, 2013 was a weird time, bro. Like, I just graduated college. So it was just like, am I going to stay with this hip hop obsession, or am I going to move on to other things, right? So I think this one kind of fell through the cracks for me. So I'll definitely I'll go listen to that, bro. And I do appreciate his flow too. So it's not like he's dude, when he was calling himself the king of the South, I was like, yeah, bro, who else would the fucking be? Like, it has to be him. So good for him, bro. Cool. No, man, great topics. If you guys have an album that you think we should go back and listen to from the early 2000s, please let us know. But before we get out of here, we're going to give you some Heat of the Week. Episode 169, my G. What was your Heat of the Week?
For me, what I've been bumping recently, oh man. So, I mean, Bryson Tiller, or sorry, no, I don't want to go into that one because that one's, I mean, it is a hot song, but I don't really have much to say about it. Okay. To be honest, I think what I'm going to say now is more interesting, but I was on YouTube. Of course, it randomly shows you videos, and I came across a song by Queen Latifah called Just Another Day. I'm sure most people are aware of it if they're older than us, or even our age, but this song came out in
1994.
1994?
I'm just guessing, bro.
Oh, you're guessing. So let me verify that. Just Another Day.
I would have to, bro, because I feel like she was before
1993. So close enough. Same difference.
Yeah.
But I was just watching the video and listening to the song. The video's in black and white. Didn't realize how much I liked her flow and how great of a rapper she was.
Because when we got old enough, she was just like an actress.
Right, exactly. Yeah, just like how fucking LL Cool J and stuff are to people who are younger than us. Crazy how that works. But the song's beautiful. I really love the beat. I think for me, it just made me feel really nostalgic. Just seeing the footage of,
let me look this up.
I mean, granted, I didn't grow up in New York, but seeing that footage in general reminded me of when I was younger, looking at music videos and stuff. And it just put me in a really nostalgic mood, which kind of makes me sad, but also at peace at the same time.
Damn, she was super. Like, dude, she was like in her dude era during this time. Like, yeah.
And she performed, I don't know if it was Jimmy Kimmel or what, but she performed this song like within the last 5 years on one of those late night shows. You know, it's just crazy because she just looked like anyone's aunt or some shit, like doing karaoke. But over here, she's all talking about pulling out the tech and stuff, of course, from the perspective of
you were scared of Queen Latifah if you bumped into her, bro. Like, she would fuck you up. Like, that was the mentality in New York. Like, that's not a one to be fucked, bro. But honestly, man, like, I think I was old enough that if my cousins or maybe a brother, one of my brothers that I hung out with, and they had it on, but dude, the only song I remember vividly was UNITY. Like, that's it, bro. Besides that, there's no Queen Latifah song that I could even hum to you. Because it just, again, it was just it's like Mark Wahlberg, right? Or Fresh Prince. Like, you just know those one song because it was so before our time. And then the moment we got relatively old enough, they were just actors, bro. So why would I know that shit kind of a thing? And obviously it was harder back in the day to go back to old catalog. Like, I'm not going to fucking Sam Goody and where's your oldie section kind of a thing. So, but yeah, no, I'll definitely peep that. Put it on the playlist. I'll definitely peep that because I've never even heard that song at all.
Yeah, no, for me, it was that's something I'd play in the jacuzzi, in the backyard if I'm chilling.
Is it her version of Ice Cube's Today Was a Good Day?
Yeah, you could say that, except it's what she describes as a bad day in the hood. But the vibe itself is very
just another day in in the hood reality. This is your life kind of a thing. Got it.
Yep.
Cool. No, yeah, I'll definitely beat that tomorrow in my workout. Dude, for me, another song. Damn, we went from early 2000s to now late 90s, bro. What are we doing?
Just going back in time. So when I was 1 year old, my favorite track
Yo, insane, dude. Dude, but for me, I think it came up on Complex, and that's why, again, we were just talking about Reasonable Doubt. So I was actually going to pick this regardless. But for me, it is my heat of the week is Dead Presidents 2 by Jay-Z from 1996 from the Reasonable Doubt album. That's by far my favorite track on that album. Again, I think it's just so relatable. I think at this time, he is a mid to late 20-year-old just trying to make it in life, make it in hip hop. But it's like, it wasn't really anything like I love those like artists who like aren't like taking jabs at any like one specific person, but just like a hater and like someone who's trying to go against them. And you're like, yo, I got to step to you if I have to. So like, there's none of that like braggadocious in it too. But like also like his play on words and the double entendres and, you know, the way he talks about drugs, but it just feels like a normal thing that anyone would talk about as well. So yeah, man, this is like for a young version of me, but also a 35-year-old version of me. Like, this is like, oh man, this guy's been spitting game for fucking years. You know what I mean? Like, it's just pretty impressive. And again, another album that I can listen to nonstop today and not feel like this is like an old person's album.
Yeah, no, amazing pick. And also a super iconic beat that I know like a billion people have freestyled over. Funny thing is, I think I didn't know about this song until like The Game or something used the beat for one of his freestyles. And then I fell in love with the piano and then found out Jay-Z made the original. Amazing song. Yeah. Love that one.
Amazing song. So that'll be on the playlist. Heat of the week. You got Queen Latifah and Jay-Z. Like, I don't know what other fucking podcast is doing this for you, but you're welcome. All right.
Exactly.
So let the people know what we got going on, bros. Get out of here.
Yes, sir. Catch us at audio-theory.com. New episode every week on all platforms. Check out the Heat of the Week playlist selections on Spotify, as well as Apple Music. The links are on the website. And if you're on YouTube or the website, check down below. We got the merch for you to cop and purchase. And if you're broke, you don't have to do that. But please subscribe, and share
subscribe
to support the channel.
Comment as much as you want, bro. Love you, my dude. Appreciate it. As always, great seeing you. Talk soon.
Yes, sir. Peace.